Kat's Creations Design Studio, where today I'm going to do a wreath that is going to transition us from late summer into early fall with my version of a fall lover wreath. So I am going to cover a couple housekeeping items for you before we go ahead and get started. So if you want to save this tutorial, super simple. Facebook group users, all you're going to do is click the share button down below. It will share this tutorial to your Facebook page where you're going to have it readily available when you need it. YouTube subscribers, you're just going to go ahead and click the save button. It'll save this tutorial in however you have your saved video files set up. Also, if you want to make sure that you're being notified when I go live, number one, Facebook users, make sure that you are liking and following the pages. For some reason, social media has kind of taken a very generic approach. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but I've noticed it over the last week. The people and the businesses that I am following on my home news feed, I'm not seeing anymore. All I am seeing really is suggested follows of things that they think I might be interested in. And so I'm losing track of who I have agreed to follow. So if you guys can just do me a favor and make sure that you have reset your settings. With a lot of the changes that Facebook has made, it generally will always default us back to, not having anything selected. So make sure you're clicking the follow button and also make sure that you're hitting the like button. You need to do both. One of two of those. I think the follow button is available, or the link button or the like button is hidden. I'm not sure which one of those because they alternate them from time to time. Right next to either like or follow, three little dots, click that the three little dots. It'll open up an extra sub menu and you can have the ability to like and follow the page. Once you do both of those, you should be notified when I go live. Now, before we go ahead and get started, let me go ahead and make sure that I can read your comments. So let me go ahead and pull up my page so that I can see you. If you guys can do me a favor too, like I said, we're noticing big, huge issues within social media in general. If you guys can do me a favor, just give me the thumbs up if the audio and video portion of this live is good for you. YouTube subscribers, just give me a thumbs up as well and say everything's good on our end here on the replay side of things. So Elizabeth, good evening. The wreath on the door is a wreath that I did, I want to say late last year. That is the fall circle of life or tree of life video, and that's available in our private group if you want to check that out. Hi Jan, good evening. Hello Pam, and welcome. I'm going to go ahead and post my website down below. If you like this tutorial and want to be the only one to have it, this is where you're going to go in order to make that purchase. Also, if you want a better deal than the prices that you're seeing show up on Etsy, shop the website. You generally get about 10 to 15% off just shopping the website versus my Etsy shop location. So I just want to make sure that you guys have that available for you. Okay. Can we pen? Yes, we can. All right. So that is posted down below for you at KatsCreationsNmore.com. I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down. We're going to go over the materials and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So hang with me really tight. And let's go ahead and make the slight adjustment. The camera is a little squirrely today. The mount just is being temperamental. So sometimes it'll just casually fall by itself. So let's try this one more time. Let's see if we can get this one. Gonna try to tighten this so it won't swivel. Okay, we are set. So we are going to use the Dollar Tree heart frame just because I like using the heart form. It generally has a sentiment without really saying anything. So just the whole heart thing in general, I love whatever it is that we happen to put on here. Thanks, Elizabeth. She says your roses are really pretty. So I did happen to get in a set of roses that are absolutely gorgeous. They have burgundies, they have browns, they have a, I guess you'd call it almost a mustard color. There's a little bit darker, kind of like a burnt orange, a rose gold, and then it also has in it like this off-white cream color, kind of like an ivory color. So I felt that we could do it justice if we incorporated all those colors in a floral rose wreath using the heart-shaped frame. And so the first thing that you're going to do when you get them, they generally come like this. So I've already pulled my other box apart, but you will get them like this. I want to say there is 25 roses in a box for about $17, and they look amazing. Not only are, you know, people might be a little gun shy about using the foam roses, but they really hold up well to moisture and water because they repel that type. So you can get them in a mix or you can get them in solids. It's just whatever you decide to do. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is they come with the stems already attached to them. Since we're going to be using them on the floral or the wired wreath form, we want to remove the wires off the back of these. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it off of here. I'm going to take them down about as low as I can get, just like that. We're going to go ahead and do this other one. I saved these because we just did a tutorial in the private group on how to make paper book page wreaths, and so these became instrumental in creating a stem for those paper roses. So if you'd like that tutorial, come join my private group. The doors are still open right now by visiting the website, which is pinned below. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to work the inside section first, and then we'll go ahead and worry about the outside, and then we'll worry about covering the back. So you will need a Dollar Tree heart-shaped wreath form. This one measures, it's about 13 inches tall, measuring from the point to the highest part of our arc. And then from the widest part over here, we're at 13 as well. We are about, I want to say, we are an inch up from the bottom of the frame to this top rail. So keeping our fingers crossed, we're going to try to see if we can get this one to also be storm door friendly as well. So starting with our V point, I always like to come up with a prominent floral to add here to the bottom. So we are actually going to be able to take these chocolate brown and we're going to angle them just slightly so that they will eventually cover the bottom of our frame. And you can, you know, alternate, spin them around, see which way that you like them to lay. You know, do the petals provide a good solid source for you? It's going to be entirely up to you. Then from the back, what I do is I just glue what I call the touch points, which is where my floral rose is touching the frame, so that that stays intact, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple silicone pads, just because as that glue begins to dry, it may have a tendency of dripping. And so we want to make sure that that does not get on our cutting mat. So from here, I am going to take those ivory roses and we're going to do the same thing. We are going to, you know, just kind of play around with the positioning, and we're going to do ivory on either side. Just like that. Long touch point here. Also one at the bottom. I am using Gorilla Glue, which is an all temperature glue, so that with extreme temperatures, if you put your dual temperature glue gun on high, that should increase the staying power in extreme cold and extreme hot, so that the glue won't, you know, melt and then subsequently fall off. Again, we're going to do this one over here. I'm going to pull some of my petals up. I want the chocolate a little bit more pronounced than the ivory right there at the bottom. Do the same thing here, right along the bottom. And then I'll tag this one right here. Okay, from there we are going to pick our next color. So I opted to go with the rose gold color. For some reason, this bunch had more of the rose gold color than anything else. So we will go this side for here. Again, flip it upside down, glue the touch points, flipping that back over, and then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of play with this one to see where, I think I like it there, how it's just slightly overlapping the other side. And touch point here and here. Flipping those over, this is the look that we have achieved so far. I love these colors for fall. Next one we are going to do is I'm looking at, what do I want to do? I think I might want to do these. So let me look. I have these here. I think that is going to work to my advantage. So see how like right in here, it gives you a little bit of gap. Sometimes you just have to play within the petals of your flowers and try to position that somehow to where that will cover that up. Because I am working with a weld right here, I want to make sure that I've got my petals somewhere where they're gonna just lay right over the top. I think that will work here. So we'll go ahead and glue this one on. And right in here. And that looks like it'll work out nicely. Again, we're going to come in here, bring that in, just kind of play with that look. See how I got it to come up just a little bit higher here. Wherever it touches, just go ahead and glue that. Okay, then we're going to come in with these golden, kind of like a burnt orange almost color. And we're going to add those. Again, we're making sure that we're covering our frame, angling them just down slightly. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. And then this one. Flip that over. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. This one's got some gorgeous coverage, so I'm good with that one. Do you guys have any questions at all about the process? Flipping this over, and then now I'm just going to angle those. I'm going to position my middle flower, which again is going to be that chocolate rose. And I want to make sure that I have enough space on both sides to be able to come in here, because we're working with that weld again. And I think we're going to be able to do it. I want to make sure, however, that these, the ones that I have here, are going to go under that look like that. And then we're going to have this. This one's going to be a challenge to squeeze in, but I want to make sure I got all those petals up and out so that we are trying to keep the integrity of the heart shape going. So again, Since I was able to squeeze these in nice and tight, it'll make for a perfect place to go ahead and add all these. And then I'm going to push this one in a little bit more. And I'm going to tag that here, and then I'm going to push that back down so that it'll face the front a little bit more. We'll pull the brown up, and we're good. So far we have added, I'm trying to think, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've used 12 roses on the inside part of our frame. Now we are ready to move to the outside. So same thing, we're going to start at the same spot. We're going to start down here. We're going to add one of our rose gold roses. Again, you can refluff that if you want the brown to be more predominant, or if you want the rose gold to be more predominant. I'm going to go ahead and tag this in. And right at the bottom. And flip that over. Now we're going to add in 2 of those burnt orange colored roses, I guess. And we're going to they're going to sit kind of snug up against the rail. Like this one is actually pretty close, so I can get this one in really nice because its leaves actually cover both sections of that frame. Flipping that over. I'm going to actually let that one sit down. And then we are going to squeeze this one in. Just like so. I'm not even going to worry about the back side just yet. You'll see this will all be covered. You won't be able to see any of this momentarily once we get to addressing the back. Okay, from here, we're going to add our next 2 colors. And I'm trying really hard to keep the colors separate so that we don't have one sitting on top of the other. So I'm going to come back in here again with this rose gold color, this champagne almost. Because in this bundle, they actually gave you 10 of them to use. So I am using these right inside. Okay. Trying to get this one in so I can flip this one over. Flipping the back. And now we are going to add in this gorgeous, it's like almost a coral color. We're going to do this side first since this one's still drying. So again, making sure, rotate your roses around, until you find it in a really good place that covers the inside as well as the outside. So I might want to bring that up like that so that these kind of hang over the top. I like that. So it's all going to be about positioning. Once you get them in there, then go ahead and glue. Just like that. And now we'll play with this one and see if we can get the same thing to kind of work out here. Making sure we're able Trying to get all the petals lifted up. We will add another glue stick here. Okay, flipping that back over. That achieves that look. And now we're going to move on. I have originally picked something different, but I think I'm going to go with this color here. I had ivory, but ivory on ivory, I don't kind of like that look. So we're going to come in here with these ones. And I'll be able to tell you once we finish how many it took, once we get them all set. And then we'll do this side. Again, making sure I am covering everything. You shouldn't be able to see daylight through them, is basically what I'm saying. And flipping these over, making sure they stay right underneath. Do you guys have any questions so far? Aw, move this person. Let's go ahead, and he is out. I have removed Richard from the thing. This is what's called spam. And this is what I'm seeing. I don't know if it's that whole transition with AI that everything is integrating with, but it just seems like whenever anyone changes up anything on social media, you get nothing but these spam comments, you get nothing but spam messages. So we have removed Richard. So yeah, we don't allow spam for your 5G services. So we're going to go ahead and add ivory now in here. So I'm just going to flip this upside down and glue our touch points. So thank you guys for letting me know what's going on so that I can address that as quickly as I possibly can. Okay. Okay. Flipping this back. Okay. So as you can see, I'm trying to blend the different colors of the roses along with what we have factored here. Then we're going to come in with that chocolate brown once more. I love these ones. Just want to make sure we have good coverage. We'll do one and then the other. There's that one. While that one is setting up, I'm going to play with placement on this one. Just like that. That would just fit in super snug right there. So that tells me good fit. Okay, get those two underneath the silicone pads. And then we're going to pull back those champagnes again. Thinking it'll work. I'm going to play with placement right here and make sure what we have in the center. This is kind of how I had it factored, so we're going to look and see if we can get all that in. I'm thinking it'll work because then it'll complete the whole look. So I should bring this down a bit more. So I am going to, before we do this, now that I think about that, we need to add a hanger real quick. So I'm going to take some braided cord. This is from Hobby Lobby. So we're going to create a gorgeous hanger from this, because otherwise we won't be able to add our hanger. And I want to curve the phrase. so that it doesn't unspool from the rest. And then we're going to go ahead and put a gorgeous gold tie on that. This should be relatively, you want to make sure that it's twisted in the same way. Okay, so I checked this and it looks like we should be good right in the center. So I probably have taken off way more than I should, but better to do that than to not have enough. So I'm just going to kind of loop up and over. Loop. And I want to make sure this stays right in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that in place. And we'll let that dry. And then we'll go ahead and create a nice loop for this. Looks great here, but I want to make sure that we're, we have the center of the point of our heart here, so that when we bring this up, we'll be able to decide, hey, how low do you want that to go? Do you want it, like for me, I don't like to see the loop in here at all. But for somebody else, they might want it a little bit longer. So with that, we're going to finish adding our roses. I have this in a nice section. I think I want it, there we go. So this one's going to come up and over. We're going to go ahead and add that. Bring this back over. Going to make sure that we have really good coverage. Yeah, that's going to work out perfectly. So that's going to actually fill up. I thought that space seems awful big for one rose to fill. But it will fill because it is a very wide rose, believe it or not. Okay. Flipping this back. And now we're going to add in our center. So again, it is just playing with all the petals to ensure that we have full coverage just about everywhere. And that looks like it is going to be good coverage for us. So that is the gist of all the roses that are going on here. So I'm going to flip this over. Add our touch points here. Flip this back over. And we're going to let that one dry before we can flip it. And then we're going to cover the back. So what questions do you guys have, if any, about this? The roses. So Joyce, yes, they are foam roses, and they are from Amazon. At the replay of this tutorial, I will go in and add the affiliate link for this color palette. So you can get them single color. So if you want like this color or the ivory or the rose gold, you can get them just that color, or you can get a mix like I got here. You're welcome, Joyce. Thanks, Susie. She said, it looks so pretty. Vicky says, I thought you were not going to touch the same colors. It's like these two, it's a little hard to tell, but these ones are actually a lighter beige color than these. These are more pink than these are more, I would say, more creamy brownish beige color. They're not exactly 100%. And then these ones, believe it or not, are separated by that brown. And sometimes you can't avoid it. But, you know, it's good if we can try to mix it up as best as possible. So I thought that that was a pretty good mix. Mary says, I make roses out of heavy crepe paper. This would be a fun wreath to make with them. Absolutely, Mary. So that is just a 13-inch wide by 13-inch long heart-shaped frame. So if you can get them at the Dollar Tree, awesome. If not, you have the dimensions for this particular one, and hopefully that'll work out well for you. Cheryl said, this is so pretty. Cheryl says, I think I might with just the chocolate. So I am so in agreement with you, Cheryl. I would love one with just chocolate colored roses. It might even be cute for Valentine's Day too, because it would look like chocolate roses. Okay, we're going to flip this over and we're going to finish off the back because this is not attractive at all. And my way of doing this might seem a bit tedious to some. Some people say, well, why don't you just grab felt strips and lay felt strips in there? Absolutely, you can. However, you guys know me. I'm all about the process. So I am taking 5.5-inch burlap. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this one because the end is frayed pretty bad. You can get this at Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Joann's, Michael's, virtually any place I can think of. And we are just going to fold so that we have this fold in half type look. And then it reduces the transparency that you can see here. If we double it, more transparent, and it's going to actually fit right along that wreath frame. So keeping it one on top of the other, you're going to see that this is going to fit flush right over that side, and it's going to give it a nice soft backing. You're still going to see the rose tips, but that's okay as long as we don't see the technical side of what it is that we've been doing. So I am going to glue right along here so that we can start the process here as well as here and here. I'm going to go all the way up, and then we are going to start here. And I'm going to try to make sure that we stay even all the way through, just like so. And then once we get to the turn, it's going to be a little bit different because we're going to have to accompany that turn. So what we are going to do is we are going to kind of do a little pleat turn, just like this. We're going to pleat and turn it. So with that being said, I need to glue the bottom, and then I need to glue this top over here so that I can make the turn. And you can use silicone fingertips if you feel like that might come through. Again, bringing our edges together. We're going to do another pleated turn. Just like that there. Because I like to make things difficult for myself. Actually, I don't. It just, this is what works the best. And we will tag right there and then along that center. So I'm tagging that corner. And then bringing that back up. We will need to pleat one more time. So we're going to bring that up right over the top here. So I'm going to tag right here so that that can lay flat. Going to adjust our top and get that going. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. We're going to tag that down so that our pleat stays down. Same thing here. Right along here. And make sure our pleats stay down. That'll give it a flush finish look. I just like the way burlap looks on the back rather than taking felt and cutting felt over the top. And now I'm going to do the middles, just like so. And I think we have one final pleat. I'm going to pull my cord through. So let me go ahead and get this corner done, because we didn't do that yet. And we're going to go ahead and get this added. Okay, one final pleat, and that'll come straight down the center. Just like so. That is where I'm headed. And then I'm going to go up here on the top. And once all that dries, we'll go ahead and glue down our pleat so that does not lift. Just like that. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pleat up. So that this is right in that center, hopefully. And we're going to try to get the turn to go up, which it looks like it will do. So a little too hot. Go ahead and get this around this loop, and then we will tag this and make sure our pleat stays intact. There's that one. So that's where we're angling this. And then we're going to pleat. Again, to get it to go fit around that loop. So we're just making sure that we have enough to hit the bottom and to hit the top. There's that. We will pleat again, because we're just pleating until we can get around the corner. So it's usually about 3, and then you can make it all the way around. And let's get this. And as you can tell, it covers up the whole frame part, so we don't have to see all the craziness that is happening right there. And we'll do this right here. So that pleat is down. I think we just have one more to go, which is one more pleat. And I think we can get this one to go the rest of the way through. Yep. And it's actually going to overlap the bottom so that we don't have that raw edge here. So let's go ahead and tack this. And then the same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and cover this back side where our pleat is going to go. Okay, and then we're going to run our bead about halfway down. And then we're going to do it over here. And that's the thing about burlap, is it is porous, so it is, the glue will go through. So I'm going to cut just a little bit longer than what I need. And then we're just going to do trying to think of how I wanted this to go. I think I wanted it like so. So just like that is how it is going to come down to the end. So straight down here, right across here, right up the center. We're going to fold this over, and then that should finish everything for us. And then you can just check your pleats, and if you feel like you need to add something more to tack those down, you can definitely do that. There's that one. And I'm just tucking these last little pieces down. So sometimes having the silicone pads are super nice for that, because it allows me to really push the glue down into the center. And you can get these little silicone glue pads. I use them for my glue gun. They're ideal because I can just pick everything up and toss them back into my glue skillet. And I think you get 4 of them in a package. Okay, that one's done. That one's done. Let's get a couple more right here. And those 2 will be the last ones to go. And our entire back is now finished with a finished burlap look, which is nice because it protects the door. Flipping this back over, this is our look that we have created. And if we want to go ahead and make a bow, we can do that. We can add a bow. I would take pictures with bow, without bow, and then make it an option that the client has, that if they wanted to, they can add a bow. They don't have to have a bow. I am going to do it, I think, let me look if this will work out right. I'm thinking this diagonal kind of orange plaid, I think that really sets the tone for this one. So the first thing I want to do is determine how long do I want my tail lengths to be. And I'm thinking about 6 inches. So let's dovetail the ends of our ribbon, which is fold your wired edges together and cut from the fold to the wired point. Then we're going to measure out 6 inches. And then we're going to do about a 3.5 inch loop, which means it needs to be 7 inches long. So here's our 7. We're going to pass from what is in my right hand to my left hand in a twist. Here we go again. Left to right. with a little bit of a twist. And then remember we did 6-inch tail. I'm going to leave this one a little bit long. Okay. Just like that. What a gorgeous bow. Look how pretty that is. It definitely sets off fall. Let's grab a pipe cleaner. We can do a chocolate brown. I have orange, but it's like way Diclo orange. Yeah, that might work. I'm going to go with the brown. So, up and over, we're just going to twist a simple hand-tied bow. And we're going to go ahead and dovetail the ends right here. Same thing, wired edges together and cut from the fold to the wired point. And then I think we're even on our ribbon tails. We can add this right to the top of our design, like so. I'm going to take these back so you can kind of see them the way I see them. Just like this, it can actually sit right at the top, right next to our bow. I think that would make a gorgeous look on that design. So the great thing is you know where your frame is, so you can just feed that through. I got it through on one side, feed it through on the other, so then it'll be on both sides of that braided cord. And I will pull this down as soon as I can get my bow even. Just like that. And again, here with your braided cord, it could also be a hanger if you'd like. I'm going to make it a hanger because it's way smaller than the other one. But I'm going to leave the braided cord so that the client can decide how long do you want a hanger. It's not static in, hey, it's going to sit here and that's the only way it's going to sit. I'm going to bring that up a little bit higher. So there is our gorgeous design. Let's go ahead and put this on the door. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, I think we have managed that. See, Vicky said I would leave it without the bow or make a bow hanger. So remember, Vicky, the braided cord is already intact, so we could make that the hanger. And you can take the bow on or leave the bow off. It's entirely up to them. I like customers to be able to have options. So let me show you what this looks like. Take this one down. And I'm going to put this one up. I'm going to use... See, I like my, I'm just going to tuck the braided cord behind. I like to not see the hanger. So having a hanger that is just a little bit lower than the bow itself is ideal for me. So these work great for, I have a family photo wall in my house that I switch out every year with something small and seasonal. This will now work for a storm door. So something nice for a storm door user, because, you know, a lot of the designs they look at cannot be incorporated for storm door users. Perfect for someone who is embracing the fall moment every day of the year. You can pair this with a gorgeous coffee cup and some pumpkin spice, something, cookies, coffee, creamer, whatever you would like. A little card that says, hey, happy fall. We know you're looking forward to fall. Here is the start of that fall for you. Oh, thanks, Jean. She said, or Jeanne, very pretty. Love it. Thank you so much for that. Joyce said, beautiful. Jean says, Beautiful ribbon, color coordinated. And like I said, you can go with brown, you can go with rose gold, you can go with an ivory touch. It's entirely up to you. I chose to go a little bit more of the burnt orange because while it's here, it's still not like overwhelming. So I really wanted to hone in on the fall feel to that. And so that's the those are the options you have. This is available for you on my website. So if you want to be the only one to purchase it, you can definitely do that. I agree, Vicky. She says it looks great on a dark door. It does. It also really pops on a light door because we have used very little light, meaning just the ivory. I think there's only 4 of them. Oh, 4, 6. We have 6 ivory colored roses, but this is one of my favorite designs. So you can incorporate this any different way that you would like. You can use any color roses to embrace your fall side, or you can grab the fall palette that I got in and pick those up. So again, for those of you on YouTube, the affiliate link for those roses will be down in the description box. Once this goes to replay on Facebook and I can go in and edit it, I will include the Amazon link for the palette that I ordered. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Come back and join me on Thursday where I have a whole new life to teach you that. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon.